Chapter 17. More information about water animals. The largest whale-like fish, Paisorihohiohio, a transformer of the spiritual astral of water animals to animals of the air. Up until now, much information has been given about this planet and its planetary structure, as well as its domain or land, plants and animals, and where there was a break in sequence, while describing the outstanding species of snails. We will now briefly and in a comprehensible manner continue with the description. We will not linger too long with the individual species. Instead, we will discuss only the most important matters, and we will offer a general overview of all the other things. Consequently, we will describe in passing the animals that live in the water in general, and then turn to the inhabitants of the air. We will not linger with them for too long either, and the same applies to the land animals, in order to sooner discuss the human beings on this celestial body. Now we will return to the water animals. You have been given an understanding of the large water masses and immense oceans which are on this planet. And you also know that on Earth the largest and mightiest animals live in the water. You will find the same circumstances on Saturn. Naturally, the species and classes are much different, and they have little or no resemblance to those on Earth. We will only mention a few. First of all, those that belong to the enormously large family of fish. The largest of all fish on Saturn is the Paisorihohiohio. This fish is approximately on the same level as the whale on Earth. However, as far as its shape is concerned, there is a vast difference. This fish has a completely round head, 600 feet high. Therefore, this head has the appearance of a bowl with a diameter of 600 feet, and opens backwards in the middle. This head has no teeth or gills. In both the lower part and upper part of this immense round cavity of the mouth, there are two completely flat, round, hard discs. At the rearmost part, or entrance to the wide throat, there is a long, pliable double tongue, which this fish uses in order to pull the nourishment which has been crushed by the two discs into the throat. And of course, the huge main body is connected to this immense head. A fully grown adult fish has a main body length of approximately 18,000 feet and a height of 9,000 feet, measured from the abdominal area to the back, the dorsum. This fish is up to 6,000 feet in diameter at its largest circumference. In addition, this fish has a tail of 6,000 feet in length, which it uses for turning and movement. On the back of this fish, there are extraordinarily strong fins, which are over 600 feet in diameter. In the abdominal area, there are 2 swimming arms, similar to those of the seals or walruses on Earth. If you picture the bisarihohiohio in your imagination, it should become clear to you that if this fish were lying somewhere on a shore on Earth, and if it were to spread its dorsal fins, it could compete with some of the higher mountains on Earth. Even the Saturnites call this fish a swimming mountain, a swimming island, or a swimming land, and some even call it a water planet. The question arises, do the Saturnites catch this fish? The answer is no, because every person on Saturn has an extraordinary respect for this fish. When this fish sees something approaching it on the surface of the water, it opens its large spherical head and travels with great speed towards the object, and crushes it with the great power and weight of its head, and devours it as soon as it enters the throat. Fortunately, the habitat of this fish is mostly only the polar regions, which, on account of permanent snow and ice, are much less accessible for the Saturnites than the polar regions of Earth. It is therefore a rare occasion that such a fish is seen by someone on Saturn. But if it is spotted in the northern parts, which is the habitat of this fish, this is considered a bad omen. As a result of it, the people flee as far inland as possible, because they are of the opinion that this fish has been sent by the evil spirits of the ice for their demise. At the spot where such a fish has been spotted, nobody dares to set foot for a long time. This is also why the northern parts of Saturn are rarely inhabited at all. You might now ask, what then is the actual purpose of this fish? This fish is the last organ of acceptance of everything that is spiritual astral in the water animals. And it distributes this spiritual astral to all kinds of animals of the air. Because not only does one future kind of air animal develop in this organ in accordance with the spiritual substantial part, but the entire future species of air animals of this celestial body originate from it. And without this fish becoming extinct because of it. In this respect, this fish resembles a small planet rather than an animal, which is also a lasting organism through which countless spiritual species pass through and develop, one distinct from the other. This applies also to your whale on Earth. However, regarding the general effect, the whale is far behind the bisariohiohio, because the whale on Earth only prepares feathered animal species of the polar regions, whereas the Saturn whale provides the entire planet with the feathered inhabitants of the air. In other words, Within this fish, the souls from the water animals are transposed into all the various kinds of souls of the feathered inhabitants of the air. This fish is therefore the largest and at the same time the most noteworthy of this entire planet. Besides this, there are countless classes of fish and amphibians of all kinds imaginable, different in size, form, and usefulness. Besides this giant fish, there are approximately another 100 kinds which, in regards to size, measure up to your whale on earth. In order to mention and describe them all in detail would not serve the purpose of why I disclose this planet to you. However, if you were spiritually more alert, it would be very easy for you to look at even the smallest detail, not only on Saturn, but also on other planets, without any explanation from me. With this chapter, we have come to the conclusion regarding information about the water animals of this planet, and we shall now turn our attention to the inhabitants of the air, which will be of considerable more interest to you than all the species of water animals of which you have learned up to now.